Thanks for joining us on Facebook Live. I'm meteorologist Brittany Boyer here with Justin Pavic. And Justin, it has been a busy week, especially with the deadly fires out in California. Yeah, and Brittany, the sad news here is as we go forward, we're still talking about some extreme conditions here Saturday and also into Sunday. So, again, we've already had, hundreds of thousands of acres being completely scorched. And, you know, the threat here with the gusty winds and the warmer temperatures comes back into play here again heading in towards Saturday. But unfortunately, the warmer temperatures, we kind of get that offshore flow setting up. So we're talking about even more gusty winds in the forecast as we head into this weekend. And it's just been such a sad situation hearing about, you know, multiple people that have lost their lives. We talk about people losing their homes, but some of those people also lost their businesses with these fires as well. Yeah, I mean, look at this. We've had 5,700 structures completely destroyed. And again, some of the pictures, some of the videos that we have seen, it's just really kind of hard to grasp the full magnitude of the situation that continues out here. Hey, this is one of the many fires that continue to burn here, and the Tubbs fire, again, this has just been a massive blaze. Notice the containment up to 25%. Again, the winds here very, very strong. Yeah, and this fire is now the third deadliest fire in California history. 17 people have died, and you can see this fire has been massive in itself. 2,800 structures have been destroyed, and as you can see, red flag warnings still in place. Justin, we're talking about that a lot as we head into this weekend. Yeah, you know, we're looking at red flag warnings stretching all the way from the Sacramento Valley down toward the LA basin. In fact, even for downtown Los Angeles here, we're getting toward Saturday morning. We're going to be looking at that red flag warning going into effect. And the offshore flow, we're probably going to talk about that more than a couple of times here. That takes the wind and the warmth all the way to the shoreline. Yeah, in places like Los Angeles, we head into this weekend, early next week, we're talking about high temperatures in the mid-90s. So it's going to be quite steamy, but it's also going to be very dry as well. We see that humidity dropping. We see those winds picking up, and all of that together is where you have the basically the fuel for the fires to really get going out here. Yeah, really, really dry vegetation. The relative humidity values get down to the single digits, and it's just parched conditions we're talking about out there. Peak winds here over some of the mountainous locations, even perhaps throughout portions of the Grapevine, could be topping 55 to even 60 miles per hour. And that's very, very windy. Yeah, and it just takes, you know, one little ember, one little cigarette that somebody might toss out of their car to really get some of these fires going. And the images that we've seen have just been so devastating to see. Yeah, and we've been talking about the wind changing direction here throughout the week as well. Of course, we had the onshore flow for a while. The front came through. We had the north winds, and now the winds are switching again another direction. We go further off toward the north, gusty winds. Pretty much the same situation going on here as well. There will be some relaxing the winds at night, but still going to be breezy out there. And, of course, dry. We need the rain here. Yeah, it's been extremely dry across California. People will remember that during the winter they had all of that snowfall. It was a skier's dream over the winter season where they had the heavy snow, the plentiful precipitation. But at this point, it's extremely dry. And because of that, you have all of those dry fuels that are there, ready to just get going with some of these fires. So you can see with this area of high pressure, we get that offshore flow. So condition-wise, we're looking at lots of sunshine here throughout the four corners, but it's that concern for wildfires that continues. And the temperatures here, even toward LA, could be getting close to 90 degrees. And we're talking about the warmth right up into the Bay Area as well. And again, this is going to be the cause for concern right into our Sunday as high pressure continues to pump out those northeasterly winds. Yeah, so we're going to show you some video now. This comes from the CAL FIRE PIO, one of the emergency officials, and you can just see essentially nothing really left behind in this part of California. Yeah, it's been just kind of really difficult here to fathom more so what's going on throughout the Golden State of California with regards to all the fires that continue to burn at this time. Notice here, as we transition more so into the Central Plains, we're going to be talking about another dangerous element of weather. That's going to be severe weather here as we work our way in toward the upcoming weekend. Now, some areas here still need the rain, so we do have that. Some areas are abnormally dry, but with this situation, we're going to have a lot of rain occurring in a short amount of time. So again, you go from one extreme to the other where we could actually have some flash flooding
conditions. So that's going to be a concern here again around Omaha, Des Moines, Madison, Minneapolis, Green Bay, Sioux Falls, and then right down into Kansas City. So we're going to be talking about areas here along Interstate 35 that could have, again, some heavy rain, also along Interstate 80 and running all the way northbound here into portions of Minnesota and also toward the UP of Michigan. Now, along this area, along this front, again, we have a sharpening air mass, cooler air to the north, warm, humid air to the south and the east. We call this more so like a temperature gradient. We're going to see some gusty storms flaring up. Some could be severe here, meaning there could be damaging winds. We could be talking about some hail, isolated tornadoes, and again, I already talked about the flash flooding, but notice how this zone goes all the way down toward the Red River, even the potential for some gusty storms down in toward northern Texas as we work our way into late Saturday night and also into early Sunday. I mean, this is going to be a major front working its way throughout the center portion of the country. And you can see, even though it's not all that active throughout the early morning hours, there will still be some ongoing showers and thunderstorms at that point. Much of the storms will wait until late afternoon or early evening, basically meeting up with the peak temperatures of the day. And we'll start to see those flaring up here just off to the north and the west of Interstate 44. And you can see how they tend to go linear here later on in the evening, and that more so is going to bring to mind damaging wind gusts here as we work our way out toward potentially toward Branson, also getting in toward northwestern areas of Illinois, and then right perhaps in toward Detroit. They could actually see some wet weather as well. Of course, Detroit further off toward the east there. But we are going to be talking about, again, some changes here coming up to the Plain States where colder air wraps behind. But right now, Brittany, on the warm side of the boundary is areas further east. And, hey, the northeast is going to be warming up this weekend, right?
Yeah, we're going to be warming up, and once we warm up, it's going to be just like the Midwest. We're going to be cooling down not too far after that. So looking at the big picture right now, it is pretty quiet across the Northeast. However, we have had a little disturbance down here, we'll call it that, towards coastal Virginia, and we've been seeing an uptick in the moisture, a few spotty showers. The rest of the Northeast, you can see it looks pretty quiet on the radar right now. However, there's some low clouds and also some areas of drizzle and mist. So if you're stepping outside late tonight, early tomorrow morning, be mindful that there could be some areas of patchy fog as well with some of that moisture. We look to the start of the weekend, and the big weather story for the Northeast as we head into the weekend is definitely going to be the above normal temperatures. It's something we've seen already this month here in October. So we're talking about temperatures in some locations 10 to even 15 degrees above normal for this time of year, but Saturday's not going to be a completely dry day for everyone. All right, so I talk about these above normal temperatures. Check this out. Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, the departure from normal is 10 degrees above where it should be for October. So it's been a pretty toasty start to the month of October, but it looks like once we head into the end of the weekend and certainly early next week, we will start to cool things down throughout the Northeast. So kind of giving you a glimpse as we head into this weekend, you can see that moisture down toward the Delmarva Peninsula is going to start to lift its way farther to the north. So early Saturday, we're looking at some rain, which could be steady at times in places like South Jersey, Long Island, New York, even Boston. Looks like we will get in on some of that wet weather action for tomorrow. So Saturday, if I had to pick, Sunday is going to be the better of the 2 days this weekend. We'll start to dry out. And then as we head into Sunday, we'll start to see that front working its way into the interior Northeast, and that front will mean cooler temperatures. Your AccuWeather forecast for tomorrow along the coast, we're looking at temperatures in the 70s from Portland all the way down to our nation's capital, coastal Virginia. So temperature-wise, it's not going to be bad, but don't expect a lot of sunshine out there for tomorrow. Then as we head into Sunday, here comes that approaching cold front. It'll slide throughout the Ohio Valley and into the interior Northeast, so places like Buffalo, New York, Erie, Pennsylvania, down to Pittsburgh. Looks like later on in the day we'll start to see some of those showers and thunderstorms. But ahead of it, Justin, it's going to be hot out for some areas.
Sunday worries me a little bit here. I've got family pictures in the afternoon. The wife tells me it cannot rain because, of course, we're taking the kiddos out. So, yeah, the front coming in. I don't mind the cool air so much, but there's going to be some rain out there. So hopefully we'll stay dry here. We'll see.
Hopefully it'll stay dry, and once the front passes, I mean, we're doing a complete 360 here. It's going to go from feeling like September to highs on Monday only being in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, so again, if you like the cool, you're going to have that. If you like the warmth, you get that. So kind of the best of both worlds here as we go throughout the weekend. But, you know, have the rain gear handy. There will be some showers and maybe even a downpour heading in toward Sunday. But otherwise, you know, not looking too bad out there. Not too extreme in terms of wet conditions.
Not a washout.
Not a washout. Good way to put it here.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us here on Facebook Live. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. Otherwise, have a great evening.
Hundreds of thousands of acres being completely scorched. And, you know, the threat here with the gusty winds and the warmer temperatures comes back into play here again heading in towards Saturday.
But unfortunately, the warmer temperatures, we kind of get that offshore flow setting up. So we're talking about even more gusty winds in the forecast as we head into this weekend. And it's just been such a sad situation hearing about, you know, multiple people that have lost their lives. Thanks for joining us on Facebook Live. I'm meteorologist Brittany Boyer here with Justin Pavic. And Justin, it has been a busy week, especially with the deadly fires out in California.
Yeah, and Brittany, the sad news here is as we go forward, we're still talking about some extreme conditions here Saturday and also into Sunday. So, again, we've already had, again, hundreds.